I'm trying to unpack it, and there's memories that
So when your mother had put the knife in your daddy, did she say, "You just gotta die"? Has nothing to do with you. So if she die, you look for the insurance paper. Go over there right away. Look in that kitchen right next to the.
I went and forgave my mother last year, and I was shaking in my boots when I went to do it, like you said I would be. And she acted all confused and started crying and whatnot. And ever since then, kind of every interaction I have with her, it feels like I end up having to kind of broach that topic again and explain it to her again and go through things with her again. And I notice myself still kind of shaking in my boots every time I'm still having to deal with her. And yesterday, my sister called me, and she was like, "I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did to Mom, but she's disturbed now, and she's a mess. It's all a mess." So my question is just, at this point, how do I deal with her in the right way, if I deal with her at all, and just how do I find peace, because it's still find myself having some anxiety, and it's not me, but I still get some anxiety and some
Number
fear.
one,
Not sure how to deal with her.
Number one, from this day forward, never explain that to her again, because you don't owe her an explanation. You're just supposed to give her for what she's done to her. I'm sorry for resenting you. And your mother's playing a game on you. She's controlling you because she know that you keep explaining. The more crazy she act, the more she's going to get control of you. Stay away from her. Don't resent her. Don't explain anymore, and start working totally on. Keep working on you by watching those thoughts and feelings. Do the silent prayer, so you can be aware, and you'll be fine.
Got it.
And if she asks, "Why don't you come over?" Just because you can tell her, "I don't come over because you still trying to manipulate me. And I don't feel like dealing with that now." Just be honest with her, but stay away from her. And if your sister call, don't let the sister play the game either. And don't let your mother work through your sister to draw you back in, because evil is trying to draw you back in. Don't explain that anymore. She understands. She's pretending not to understand forgiveness, but she does.
Okay. Is it the wrong thing to ignore and not take the calls?
Not at all.
Okay.
It's neither wrong nor right. If you don't want to talk, you don't want to talk.
Okay.
It's neither wrong nor right.
Okay. And then whatever happens to her and however she acts,
if she fall out and die, it has nothing to do with you visiting or not visiting. Has nothing to do with you talking to her or not talking. That's all with her. Has nothing to do with you. So if she die, you look for the insurance paper. Go over there right away. Look in that kitchen right next to the insurance paper in that drawer right next to the kitchen over there from the stove. But don't let the devil tell you, "Oh, you didn't visit your mama. She died." That had nothing to do with you.
Yeah. So just watch those thoughts and let them pass.
Yes.
Even when they keep coming back. So you watch and they let them pass. They come next day. You wake up. They come back.
Yeah.
And just keep going. Just keep going through it, huh?
100%. Keep going through it until you're on the other side. On the other side of hell is heaven.
And just keep going through it. And sometimes it takes time, right? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen right away.
Well, don't even decide that right away or not.
Yep.
Stay away from all imagination and just do it.
Got it.
And watch and do it. If you have to go in and out of imagination 50,000 times a day, you keep doing it and you'll be free. You'll find it'll be fine. You'll work.
Got it.
All right.
Thank you, Jesse. Hey, Jesse, one quick question. Do you care who Trump picks for vice president? Is there anyone you like out there? It seems like none of these people are any good, but is there anyone you'd like to see, or
at this point, I really don't care at this point. I just want him in there to straighten out some of this mess. But at this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Right.
Thank you for everything, Jesse.
You're welcome, Sean. Amazing. Daniel, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling about my situation with my family. My my mom, she actually tried to kill my father, as in literally with
How,
a knife.
really? How old are you?
I'm 42, sir.
You how much?
42.
4'2"?
Yes.
Okay, so your mother tried to kill your father with a knife.
Yes. Yes. She was a very chaotic person, and she was from the UK, but she lived in, and she dragged us back and forth between France and UK, and she was always a bit out of control, and I saw her be violent with other people, and it was a very violent upbringing for us, the kids, with her.
Yes.
And with my dad to some extent too, but I ended up leaving when I was young. I immigrated to the U.S. to try and get away, and they lost custody of my sister to the French authorities, and then I guess when there was no kid, I don't know exactly how it went about, but well, actually, no, I do know how it went about because she'd done something similar to me, but he was in his sleep, and she was an alcoholic. She stabbed him in his sleep with a knife.
Oh, so
Trying
she
to kill
actually
him.
stabbed him, but he just didn't die.
Exactly, he survived. She just missed. I was told she missed his spine by a few inches. So it was very close, and he had a lot of medical problems. But he did not want to press charges, and the French authorities, somehow, my mother, despite being an alcoholic and all this, she would run circles around all these French people and the French authorities. She had this British charm that even the women that I've seen here in America, they cannot get to that level of manipulation.
So how old were you when this happened?
I was in my early 20s.
Oh.
I was in the U.S. at this point. I came here when I was 18.
Oh, okay. So you
Yes.
were at least an adult when she tried to kill your father?
Yes. As far as I know, that is the first time she made a successful attempt. But it was very violent.
Yeah.
Throughout my and there's a lot that I'm trying to unpack it, and there's memories that.
So when your mother had put the knife in your daddy, did she say, "You just gotta die"?
Yeah, it was. She sounded like that when she was drunk. She was very, there was definitely evil in her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and I've seen her I now that I'm more older and I'm an adult and I've had experience in life, I recognize that wasn't the first time that she wanted to kill people. And I never really, it's only now in my adult life I'm trying to address this properly. And my father, he survived this ordeal, and he used his connections. He used his connections with the French institutions. He worked for a French military contracting company, and this is also something that I found out that was very disturbing, is that he would boast about being entertained by Gaddafi the Gaddafi regime in Libya. He worked with a lot of these ex-French colonies and African Arab countries, selling them military equipment on behalf of the French.
What a mess.
And so he used his connections so that she wouldn't have, and then what he also did was he reached out to my sister, who is at this point not in his custody anymore because the situation was so bad. But he reached out to her and coerced her or convinced her to testify positively to the French judge in my mother's favor, saying that they were in counseling now and they were going to do family counseling and all that,
So
all
your
this kind of
father
stuff.
took your mother back when she allegedly tried to kill
Yes.
when she tried to kill him? He took her back?
He took her back, fought for her to not face any charges from day one, took her
Whoa.
back, and then
When a man loves a woman. When a man loves a woman, she can do no wrong. Put a knife in his body, she'll take her back.
You make it sound so sweet.
Oh, God. And so, because of time, what's your question for me?
Well, my question is, you say, about forgiving, and this is just half of the story. We're just getting started, but I want to forgive this guy, and I want to forgive the French family because they witnessed all this and they did nothing. They just let it be. But I want to find a way to get past this and be able to forgive him. And
you want to forgive your father?
Well,
when you say forgive him, you mean you want to forgive your father?
I want to forgive my father for imposing my mom after this happened, because after all this happened, we did end up speaking maybe a year later, and we tried to reconcile, and I tried to forgive my parents for everything, and he kind of, what he did is he sent my mom on a plane and just called me at the last minute saying, "Hey, she's on her way to JFK, go pick her up," with no no forewarning or anything like this. And of course that was also a mess because she came with alcohol, and then she ended up endangering my son, and almost it was very bad.
So she was living with you and your family?
No, by then I had started my own family in the U.S.
And your mother came to the U.S. was living with you?
He sent her over on a vacation. He just sent her last minute because she wanted to have a relationship with her grandchild, and I wasn't. I was trying because they're my parents. I said, "Look, if she comes, there cannot be any alcohol. There cannot be any of that around my child, but still he sent her, and it ended up being a mess, and she ended up getting, she ended up getting pissed out of her mind because it was always somehow the alcohol, and it just ended very bad, and it just, after all that, things with them just kept escalating from bad to worse.
So why did you say? So what now?
To where the point where my mom died because she drank herself.
Oh, she's dead now?
She's dead. Yeah,
She
she died
dead?
in 2012.
Well, that's good. Are you glad she dead?
It's not like that. I don't resent like that.
But that's good. She's not in the way anymore. But let me ask, why
Right.
didn't you tell your father, no, I'm not picking her up at the airport. I'm gonna leave her there. Why did you pick her up?
I didn't know.
Yeah, I
I
understand.
thought that I was in my I was like 20 something, very
Yeah.
young and naive and beta as well.
But
But,
I understand. So because of time, what's your question for me today?
how do I forgive something like that?
How do you forgive your father and mother or just father?
Yes. How do I forgive both of them?
By realizing the same evil that causing you to have anger toward them, it's the same spirit that is driving your father and was driving him and was driving your mother. It was not them, but it was the anger, evil spirit inside of them that they had for their parents that was causing them to do it. They could not help themselves. They literally could. They didn't want to be that way, but because they didn't look within and overcome anger, it was driving them, and it made them do what they did. It made your mother crazy like that. And then your father, because he resents his mother, he is subject to women. He's looking for a father's love, but he keeps thinking a mother's love is going to work, and it won't.
Wow, you're really good.
And so just realize, yes, it was wrong. Yes, it was evil, but it wasn't what they wanted to do. They could not help it.
Right. Wow, Jesse. Yeah.
And you'll be fine, and it'll be amazing, and you will have no past and no future. Your life will become, there are no words to express how amazing your life will become when you forgive. They couldn't help it, man. If they could have been differently, they would have. If they could have done differently, they would have. Are you doing the silent prayer video?
No, but I intend to start.
Yeah, start doing it, and God's going to bring you out of the imagination. And when you think about these things that happened to you, it would be as though when you're telling the story about it, it would be as though it never happened to you. It was just something that happened, and it was just crazy how it happened, but it wouldn't affect you at all right?
Right. Thank you so much, Jesse. You're amazing.
Let me know how it goes, Daniel. Amazing story.
Thank you kindly.
All right, call me again, all right?
Will do it.
Okay. Amazing. And you think your mama was crazy. What the?